let's get started. Welcome everyone. I hope everyone's going well today. So we got some feedback for the API. And essentially, if I were to draw this out, we would have something like this. Let's go to project ID. Project status ID and project status name. We'll have something like this. You give me a second. I'll make that extra large. We'll do a fancy color. And yeah, people weren't happy with it, which is fine. We're in version 0. We want a lot of feedback, and we're happy with this feedback. So, as an alternative, they've gone. Let's say the project ID is 12. They will have project status. And that will be something like that. So yeah, we're going to try and implement this today. I think I know how to do it. There's other things which we've got to implement too. So if we minimize everything, open up the NearBeach and then the views API, requirement item API, I think it was, in where we've simplified the update status and so forth like that. So we're just going to go through and make those sort of changes. Yeah, with the create, once again, the create's all, we're going to make some simplifications throughout the code and so forth like that. Okay, so jumping into it, let's start with this at the moment. So the status points. Now I'm just going to run debug mode. We are joined here today with Socks. She's right down there playing with the severed zebra leg. She's been hunting this morning. So yeah. Let's get into it. I want to go over here and we want to go localhost API version 0. I'm just going to start off with project. We'll go down the whole entire list. Easy. So with this, once again, we've got the status and the status name. That's not how we want it anymore. We want it broken down properly. So we're going to start doing that today. Easy. Cool. So I'm just going to close that. I am going to open up our serializers and we're going to have a look at the project serializer. So, sorry about that. In here, we've got these two, and we no longer want that to be like that. Oh, and we're in our first ad break. All right. For those on YouTube, sorry, we run ads every 30 minutes on Twitch. You don't get ads, don't worry. We do this so no one misses out on any content. And we are also joined with us by Socks. Here she is. Hopefully everyone's going well tonight. It is cold here. I've had to put on the heater tonight. Luckily, I've warmed up the house to around 18 degrees Celsius. So I'm happy with that sort of temperature. Heater's just gone off. I know it's going to get colder and colder over the night. So yeah. I've also got to do some cleanup after the stream too, and some quick vacuuming in the morning. It's just busy for me at the moment. So yeah. Okay, how's the timing? We've got about 20 seconds worth of the ads. Okay. see you with the ads. And welcome back, everyone. Give me a couple of seconds whilst I hit that button. So yeah, the first thing I want to do is I want to remove these. We're going to make this a lot better. We are also probably going to have, I know I did this somewhere else. If we hit reload, we no longer have those statuses coming through. If I duplicate the tab and I go, I think Kanban board. Let's pick a number 1. With a Kanban board, we've got the ability to do something like this. So we're going to also do something similar. So, just thinking how I can achieve it. It shouldn't be too hard, famous last words. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to have right hand click, I want to go file, I want to go project status serializer.py. In here we want to import, from REST framework import serializers. I don't think I need to import something else. It's been a little while, it's been a hot minute. Class, and then we've got the project status serializer, and that's based off the serializers. Actually, no, it won't be. It'll be based off serializers.model serializer, and then we'll have the model equal to the list of project statuses, which we've got to import. So from NearBeach.models import list of project statuses. Easy done. Might not model. And this is where I look up the Kanban card. There's model serializer. Alright, yep. I need to include this, the class meta. So, it's not this. It'll be the class meta, and then it's the model equals the list of program statuses, and then we've got the fields equals, and then we'll have the project status ID and the project status name. And Yushiman, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well using Python and JavaScript. Yes, I also do a bit of .NET also, and I used to do quite a lot of PHP, but not as much nowadays, because I do when I've got a client and I've got a WordPress site. So yeah, how are you? Hopefully you're going well. Welcome back. Alright, so we should have that all sorted, and then what we need in here is the same thing we needed for the Kanban board. And I'm trying to remember how we did it, and I'm just going to look at it. So we're in here, we're looking at the Kanban. Okay, we've got the Kanban column. We just import it and we just do that. Easy done. Alright, so with the project serializer, we'll go up to the top. We'll go from NearBeach.serializers, import the serializers.project. Import that. You're good too? Oh, that's good to hear. What am I working on today? So I am working on improving the API. So we got some feedback for the API. One of them being the shape of the statuses. Instead of having it like this with the ID and the name, actually break it down into this sort of structure. So the project status will actually have two fields coming through, And then when someone pushes something, they go, all right, cool, my project status will just equal, let's say, number 2, and that should work perfectly fine. So we're implementing that. So down here, we'll have project status equals the project status serializer, many equals false because it'd be a one-to-one. Yeah, we're also fixing up the code because we learnt something a couple of streams ago, and we're like, you know what? I'm going to implement that everywhere and simplify the code base. So, yeah. All right, so we've got many equals true. I forgot what other fields we have for this particular thing. Allow null, that's going to be false. And read only is, ooh. That's gonna be false. Because we want to update this. So anyway, read only equals false. And oh, I've absolutely forgotten what the other one was. That was, yeah, sorry, allow null is false. All right, when we get in the fields, I'm just making sure. All right, we do want that to, that's still the same. So the project status will still be the same. Project priority will still be the same. We'll need to fix the project priority next. So we'll do that next. What did I learn? All right, so if I go into the requirement items API, we learnt that when we create something, I can actually just use this. So I've got the serializer save, and then I just pass through any other fields that need to be sort of created. So instead of actually having a massive list of code where I create the objects and so forth like that, I can just save it and just key in just a couple of these arguments like the change user and the creation user. So yeah, that will heavily simplify the code. So it's, instead of having something where I've got an extra 10 lines in here, it's now just this. Also, Socks is in a playful mood. If you haven't noticed, she jumps in her bed and then jumps back out, and she jumps in her bed and then she jumps back out, and I don't know why. Okay, so if I go to the front end now and I hit refresh, ooh. All right, I need to fix up other things, and that's fine. So this would be part of the project API. This would be for the list. I'm going to put a breakpoint there. We are reaching it. Sorry, I am going to say. All right, I'm back. Post sneeze. All right, and then this is fine. And then it gets here and it's project results, unable to get. Okay, so I'm just gonna hit play. That's perfectly fine. I'm gonna ignore that. I'm gonna go back into this. But how did you come up with this refactor? Did someone, yeah, someone just told me. So they're like, hey, I noticed you're doing this. There's probably a better way. And then they just told me the better way. And I was like, you know what? That is a better way. So, yeah. Okay. Alright. What is it complaining about? Project status name is not a valid model for project list statuses. I know why. Alright, so going back down, it's this one. It's at this level. So let's have a check of the models. And Amir. Yes, yeah, this is Socks. She's jumped off screen at the moment. There's my face. Let's just bump into the secret screen. Yeah, this is Socks. So yeah, she joins me on my streams. And she likes treats. So yeah. So she has jumped into her bed at the moment. I usually ask those refactor things to AI tools. That's why I asked it. I wanted to know what. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. In this sort of case, yeah, it was just someone has come along and been like, "Hey, you can do this." This sucks. Hello, everyone. And hey, that onion, how are you going? Hopefully, you're going well. You have 5 cats. Wow, and 3 dogs. Yes. All right, that is a lot of cats. So yeah. I've got a lot of cat emojis, but sadly a lot of these have passed on. So yeah, and there's still some emojis that I want to put in there. Level up, yes, they are. Alright, going into here again, we want to go into the models. We want to find the list of project statuses table. There it is, and it's just project status. So I've got this wrong, so I'm just moving this serializer over here. It's just project status, easy done. And if we hit refresh, there it is. So now we've got the project status and we've got it like that. Now I'm just going to bump over into our Postman and we are going to open up a project. We're going to open up a team leader. So the list should still work. Yep, perfectly fine. Yep. The get project one definitely. Give me a couple of seconds. That should not have worked. That should not have worked. Project information one is, oh, unless I'm in the administrator. Sorry, I've just got to double check this. Yeah, there we go. All right. Yeah, I just had the admin token in there, so that was my bad. All right, so if we go into this one works. Now with the put, this is where we're going to change this. So project status is 1. All right, cool. Project status. But it's right there. There it is. And this might be the problem, because we want to send back an ID. Okay. And this is where we want to update it. So we'll go back here. We've got the group list, menus, files, required equals true. We're going to go straight down to status. Read only is false, allowed null is false, many is false, required is going to be true. I am going to get rid of those. So with the get fields, that's all fine and dandy. All right. This is where I go Django REST framework. Custom field with DB. All right. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that. Now, we're stating that we're doing it because the group list is not on the project table. That's perfectly fine. We've got a group list here, the serializers, query set. That should be fine. We are getting rid of it on a put. So, yeah, that should be fine. We do need a class meta. And the model will equal project. All right, I'm going crazy. No, I'm right. Cool. From that list. And then I'm just wondering if we just need the exclude in this sort of case, because then we can include all of this. I'm going to leave it like that at the moment. I'm going to have an exclude like that. Should work the same. And then if we go to this one, we go send, we've got a bunch in here that we don't need. So we've got the organization ID, organization name, we want to keep that, project ID, project description, end date, higher order status. We do want that. The name, but yeah, even then higher order status. No, we want that in there. In as a purpose, in like that. All right, cool. Project story point, we want that. Date created. Date modified is deleted, we don't need. I feel like having the dates in there are going to help, especially when we move everything to the API. Organization. Ooh, organization would be a good one to also condense. The customer. Did I seriously leave the customer field in the project? Going to close these, like open up this project, view data. Going to close this. Project priority, organization, customer ID. I did too. All right, so that is a field I should have deleted a long time ago. All right, we're going to do that now because we don't want it in there, full stop. So I'm trying to find my models, there we go. So I'm after project. Only fill out when there's no, all right, so we've gotten rid of that ability a while ago. I just haven't deleted the data. In here, what we need to do, source, VM bin activate, we need to go Python manage, make migrations, and then Python 3 manage migrate. Now it's going to break the tests right away. If I go manage test, it's going to break anything that deals with the projects. There we go. And that's just because it can't load in the fixtures. So for us to fix that very, very quickly, we can just do that in the, let's just do that in the fixtures that ourselves. So under NearBeach fixtures, we're going to go no setup. We're going to go fields. Actually, we're searching for modal. This will be easier if I. Sorry, I'm not the best with searching with Vim just yet, so bear with me. We want modal NearBeach.projects. Oh, we don't have anything in there. All right, sweet. So it won't be for that one. It will be for this one. There we go. And we're just getting rid of the customer. We're getting rid of the customer. I think there's only 2 results in here, and then we should be able to load this up. Worst case scenario. We need to fix the tests. An easy way to do that is I've just done something like this. And we get rid of the customer. Project data. Is that for the API? Yeah, alright. We're broken at the moment. This is all the API stuff which we're broken. Alright, and we're in the middle of fixing it. Hey Max. Okay, cool. So the fixtures are fine. So I'm going to close that, and we're going to refocus on getting the API to work. So, is deleted, customer will no longer be there, change user is not needed. That is for pretty much system administration stuff, and creation user is no longer needed. Alright, so if we actually send this, we'll get no results at the moment. There we go. So we've got everything we need. We need to shorten up the organization stuff. Easy, done. We're going to do that this second. Now, do we have the organization serializer? We do have an organization serializer. We're going to use that serializer like there is no tomorrow. So from NearBeach.serializers, organization serializer, import not the organization itself, but the organization serializer. I am just going to comment out, oh, wrong one, comment out that. And comment out that. And we're going to write organization equals organization serializer. We're going to open up this. We're going to go many equals false. Ooh, now. The only time we actually write to this is when we're actually creating. And what we've done in prior, what we've got is many equals false, we've got that, and then required equals true. So I'm going to go required equals true. I think it's allow null is false. And then we scroll down here, and we're having, when it's a put, we're going to pop it. We're just going to pop it out. It's not needed at all. Yeah. So that should then do something like this. So if we hit send, you'll see that the organization, and then it keys in through enough information. I think this is better for the API because if we're connecting the front end to this particular API, we do want this data coming through. So we can actually populate their fields. So definitely need this data. All right, so another thing we've got to do. Sorry, I'm just getting distracted with the cube. All right, so we've got the project ID, organization, project description is fine, project end date is fine, the project higher order status is only going to be a read-only field. That is fine having it like that. The project name is fine. The project priority being all right, so the priority is needed. We need to do the same thing, so I'm getting rid of this at the moment. Project priority and priority name. So we actually don't have a priority setting for this. Yeah, and we have a get. All right. I'm just gonna do this for a second. I don't know how I'm filling that out. Priority name. Okay. I'm just going to do this for a moment. I want to see what that actually gives us. So I'm going to go over here. We're going to hit resend. And we're looking for the priority. So there's the project status. There's the project priority. It's just an integer and stuff like that. However, that being said, that is not the best output. So I'm going to probably create a serializer for this. And considering there's priorities used everywhere else, it will be one serializer that will cover everything. It's an enum. So yeah. So I'm going to right hand click on the serializer. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do priority serializer. And hope I spelt that right. So the first thing we need to do is from REST framework import serializers. Easy done. Now this is serializer, but we also got to go from NearBeach.models import. And if you actually have a look, this is the object card priority. Like so. And then we go class, and then we go priority serializer. And we open this up and we just go serializers dot now. This is just going to be a serializer. It's an enum. Then we're going to go and have a good think about this. So we're going to have priority ID and I don't know how this will work. How to create a serializer for an enum field in Django REST. Let's actually have a look at this. I should have logged in, get this into dark mode. I do apologize. We also should be having an ad break very soon. So we've got the queues ID, enum choice field. All right, so after doing a lot of searches on Google, I finally found the answer to serializing issues within the enum's choice field. The following changes did the job. From eChoice field, import choice enum. Okay. Ooh, and we've reached our second ad break. I hope everyone's going well. For those on YouTube wondering ad break, I'm not getting any ads. Don't worry, you don't get any ads. On Twitch, we run ads every half an hour to stop pre-rolled ads. We do this so no one misses out on any content. Pretty much it. You get to see me solve a cube or do something random. You get to also see Socks a little bit more. She likes to, you know, be on stream quite a bit. She's like, yeah, I'm on stream right now. So, yeah. Nope. Hopefully everyone's going well tonight. So yeah. All right. Okay, almost finished this one. Almost. And there we go. Easy done. About 18 seconds left. So yeah. That onion, have you been doing the Rubik's Cube for a long time? Yes. Yes, I have. I'm not the fastest. I'm nowhere near the fastest. I've only ever completed the cube, and I thought I didn't need to replay the game. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, it's mainly my fidget tool type of thing, so I like playing with it. Alright, so they've got a bunch of this. So that's in the models. We actually don't have this set up like that in the models, and I don't know if we can. I'm trying to remember how we've set it up. So we're going to visit the models. So we've got the project, we've got the project status, we've got the project priority, and we've got the choices, and we've got that in default too. So it's an integer field. Alright, name, character field, enum choice field, yeah. Oh yes, and don't forget to drop everyone, exclamation point drop, followed by your favorite emoji. I'm gonna do Judgmental Lily, because you did Shocked Max. So yeah. Okay, so they got it like that, and then in the serializer, they've got... Yeah, I don't think I've got enum choice field at all. Let's have a look. Easy done. Yeah, I don't have any of that. Yeah. Alright, not a problem. Enum, nothing on there. Let's go search, let's go enum, nothing found. Alright. Django REST framework, enum field, or handling. Hey, Max. Max is wondering why Socks is in the bed. Yeah, it's her bed. You've just realized that people give her treats on stream, and you're like, oh, I could do that. Alright, Django REST. That's a project. Okay, give me a couple of minutes. I'm gonna see if we can figure this out. I don't want to include any other sort of libraries and stuff like that. Yeah. So, in here, we've got project priority. This will be different again because it'll be project priority. And we'll be passing through... So I'm just having a good think at the moment. So Which project priority gets the blue check mark? The highest. Yeah, so I kind of want to join these up, but the problem is it's an enum, but it's not set up in the usual sort of way. So in reality, it could be this. And we'll send, and that's perfectly fine. It comes through like that. But I also want the enum values. Enum field and value. Now this is saying, yeah, that's fine. But that, all right. Oh, hang on. Using Python's built-in enum. Hang on. Thing is, we're supporting 3.9 until October. Until essentially when this particular 3.1 will support 3.9. Sorry, my brain was just churning then. And then 3.2 will drop it. So let's go back here. It's saying use the enums for the classes. Enum, class status enum, active, yada, yada, yada. All right, cool. How are we setting up this particular one? So if we go all the way up to the top, we've got a bunch of stuff like this. So we've got the object card priority, which is what we're utilizing for here. And they're saying but we've got the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Essentially, you might have projects that have higher sort of priority over other ones. So, for example, you want certain functionality to come out before other functionality. You might give that a higher priority. If you have a look here, you can see that this is the object card priority. It was initially created for the cards, and we're just using the same priority values everywhere else. Now, I might change that into the Python enum, but I don't know if that actually affects the database migrations. That's something we can test very quickly. I can make these changes and then see if it creates a migration file. If that works, then that is perfectly fine. And hello, CSM 101. How are you going? Welcome back. And I could potentially do something like that, which is what this thing was. But this one was saying use the enum choice one, which we don't want to do. Do you know that website that listed a bunch of hardware and graded them by how free they are to use software-wise? No, I don't. Bunch of hardware and graded. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Sorry. Open source hardware. No, that's just a... Yeah, I haven't used it, sorry. Yeah. Sounds like a cool place to be, though. It's H-Node. I've never heard of it, sorry. Alright. I am having a quick look. Yeah, we've done it like that. Oh. Alright. Oh, nice. Ah. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna have to create a ticket. We're gonna call this enum setup for all priority. So currently we do not have a clean way of having priority set up, so it looks like, and then I'm just doing something like this, priority 1, priority 2. First, we might need to look into how the enum system now works in Django. Remember, what keyboard am I tapping on? A keychron. I wonder if I've got the commands here. Give me 2 seconds. And I don't know if Nightbot's working at the moment. Otherwise, it's a keychron K2 with blue switches. First, we might need to look into how the enum system now works in Django. So I wrote this this whole database thing quite a long time ago. Easily could have had updates since then of how we do particular things. So it might be time that I just sit down and go, all right, I need to actually update these. So yeah, I'm just going to put this on a high priority at the moment. We have also, I forgot to paste in some reference links. So we're going to copy this, we're pasting it in. We also, because I have to support 3.9 in this particular version of NearBeach, I'm going to copy and paste that in. Yes, so Nightbot didn't work on YouTube, sorry. It was meant to pick that up, but yeah, it's a keychron K2. Now, I'm also going to put on here, because we're going to fix it in the 3.1 branch. We're also going to move it up a little bit. So, yeah. We're currently doing this one ticket. Yeah, cool. Sweet. So, what I'm going to do, for the moment, I'm going to delete this priority serializer. And I am going to undo this. Like that. And the reason being is once we hit this again, hit this a couple of times, we'll see down here, even though we see, oh, that's story point. Even though we see project priority, we also see project priority name. That's better than nothing. So the end user isn't going, what does a 2 mean? It would be nice if we have it in this format, but yeah, once again, we've got it sort of like set up like this. They're enums purposely because I don't want the users sort of editing the priorities. That being said, it could have been done a little bit better and have a translation layer added in, much like how we've done with the statuses. So the statuses you'll be able to actually edit, mix and match in NearBeach very easily. So yeah. Alright, so sorry, I'm just getting distracted with the cube again. I mean, yeah, that is one way we could do it. So we were going to translation the app. We'll need people to key in their own sort of translations. It's a thing for another day. All right, so going back into here, if we, oops. So we want to go in here, we've got the project ID, we've got the organization, we've got the project. Now, I should be putting this in a particular order, so it renders out in a particular way. And one way to do that is we can, instead of having the excludes, we can have fields equals this and then actually key in all the fields in a particular way. And that way it gives me the ability to have this still in alphabetical order, which is what I prefer. I'm going to do it. So we'll have project ID. Is it a game or what are you? I'm working on an open source project management system called NearBeach. So while explaining all this code, just started to learn Python, but unfortunately I dropped out. I work at labor construction. Can I get a job without a degree? So I actually don't have a programming degree. I actually have a degree in mathematics. So yeah, if you learn how to code and stuff like that and can prove that you can code, then yeah, it is something you can easily jump into. My trek is a little bit different. So I started doing maths and I became a data scientist. Sorry, I don't have my little thing, my tablet hooked up at the moment. And then, yeah, data scientist. Oops, that looks more like a P. So I did learn how to program when I was studying maths. I learned C, and when I became a data scientist, I did quite a lot of database applications and stuff like that. I then moved into IT, where I learned web development, and then I jumped into working for a digital agency. So yeah, it is plausible. You've just got to learn. I'm going to copy organization, but at the moment I'm going to put organization down here. We are going to go project description. We're going to have project. Now this is, oh, I don't have it in there, do I? Project name. There we go. Project name. We'll eventually be calling it title. So you did web dev in which tech stack? So I decided to learn a bit of WordPress and a bit of Django. And from Django, I was able to prove that a lot of my knowledge was transferable into Laravel, which it was. I also had quite a deep knowledge of SQL due to sort of data scientist role. You use a lot of SQL. And yeah, from there I was able to be like, yep, cool, I can do backend stuff and so forth like that for this digital agency. They hired me. I ended up working there for 3 and a bit years, I think. yeah, 3 and a bit years. And yeah. And then I got another job. So yeah. Still programming. So. Alright, so we've got the project name, we've got the project description. Now, if I were to jump into the front end, I'm not a graphics designer. This is why the front end looks very boring. And we go into a project. So we've got the description, then we got the stakeholder. So that's where we want the organization. I'm trying to make the API reflect what's on the page itself. And then we've got the status and the priority. So we'll need to go project status here, and then project priority, and then project priority, what was it called? Name. Then we'll need story points. Now that might be project story points. And project start date, project end date. Easy done. And now we just need to clean up fields. You should have tried Spring Boot because I am working on it for my backend stuff. Oh, fair enough. But was it around like, how long ago was it? 8 years ago? Nearly 9 years ago? What are you using for the front end? VueJS. So yeah, just simple VueJS. We won't be touching much of it tonight. And then for the CSS framework, I'm using Bootstrap. However, I've used Tailwind before, and I've used React before, and I've used Angular. Yeah, AngularJS instead. Am I on Linux? Yes, I am. So I'm just using plain old vanilla Ubuntu. Nothing exciting. All right, project start date, project status we've done. All right, date created, date modified. I'm gonna have it like that. And if I hit refresh, internal server error. Yeah, that's because we don't need these. We'll just delete those. That's easy done. We just hit refresh. Something's gone wrong. Project hire order status. I've missed one. All right, not a problem. So we've got the project hire order status, and that will become after that. I don't know what that means. Guten Abend. Sorry, I only speak English. I'm terrible with other languages because I live in Australia and there's no one around. So, yeah. Alright, we've got another error. Group list was declared. Oh yes, we need the group list. I'm going to put that after here, so that could belong there. So we've got group list. Just going to hit refresh. I know I've missed quite a number of fields. UUID. That can sit there. Actually, no, that's more of a utility type of thing. So that can, oops. There we go. Easy done. Trust me to forget everything. So project field is not valid for the project. Yep, I renamed this wrong. It's story point. With database design, I like making things singular, and the reason being is I don't want people to think, oh, does this need to be plural or singular? When if I'm like, no, everything's going to be singular, that's it. And I've made a mistake of putting in story points. So yeah, easy fix. And there's our data back. All right, sweet. So that's looking all good. That's in an order which we want it to be in. And I am happy. Okay, so I can get rid of this now because that comment's no longer relevant. We can get rid of organization as that's no longer used because we're using the serializer of that. So if I do a post and I go in here, I'm going to post all of this. We don't want the statuses or the priority coming through because those are set by default. We've got the group list, we've got the organization ID. If I go send, organization is needed. So if I go in here and I do that, yeah, all right. Are you comfortable working on large projects like that without type safety? When I was at a digital agency, debugging JavaScript was a nightmare, and I was the only developer there until I resigned. You do bring up a really good point. I do like types. That being said, because I know most of this code base, I know what the structure is and stuff like that. I know what to expect. And it's quite easy to debug the most of my code pretty easily. So I'm not too afraid. However, that being said, and I don't know if you can see it right behind me, you do actually bring up something which we do want to implement. So I've got a whiteboard behind me, and you might be wondering what's on the whiteboard. I can't read it. It's all really tiny text and all that kind of stuff yet, but fair enough, it is. However, if I bring it over, the whiteboard sort of outlines what we're going to be doing with this particular branch. So I've got a blog post on nearbeach.org/blogs. There's a blog post dealing with what we want to do with this, but if you have a look down here, I do want to implement types in code. So yes, it is one thing which I do want to actually implement in NearBeach, and yes, I do enjoy types. But no, I'm not too afraid if there's no types. I'm quite used to it. And yeah, understandable that when you're not accepting types and stuff like that, you can have different shapes come through which could cause unknown issues. And it is annoying. Very. Alright, so here we are. We've got organization. As you see, organization, because it's a organization serializer, it doesn't quite work. Now a way around this is we could go, all right, cool. We could say this is a read-only field. We could potentially say that, and then we could have organization ID when we put something in there. However, I can automatically tell you that I know someone who will be like, nah, don't do that. That's terrible design. And I'm going to try my best not to make terrible design. Famous last words, because I always make terrible designs. Alright, so we need this to accept an ID. Alright, so we've got Django REST framework get child serializer to accept ID. And we're on an ad break. Alright, for those on YouTube wondering what's happening, we run ads every half an hour on Twitch to stop pre-rolled ads. I tend to do this so no one misses out on any content. Don't worry, you guys don't get ads. I wouldn't worry about it. We get a couple of cents, so don't panic. Yeah. I like to answer questions, solve a Rubik's Cube, Socks every now and then wants to come up and bat the camera. She's been good lately. She's been good. She did it last stream, I think, or the stream before. But yeah, she's been good. She's not doing it every half an hour, which annoyed me. So yeah, primary. All right. All right. Okay, I've got an idea. A plan of attack. We're just a couple of seconds till... Alright, sweet. And... Whoop, wrong screen. There you go. Welcome back. So... I've been having a look. We can use the primary key related field for this. That's a model serializer. We pass things through like this. Tracks. But what if I want... Okay, let's play around with it. So if I've got organization equals serializers.primary key related field, a many equals false, required equals true, allowed null equals false. I need a query set, don't I? No, I don't need anything else. That's pretty much it. Let's see how that looks. So we're going to get project 2. We're going to send off for the results again. We're not getting any data. Something's gone wrong. I'm going to hit that little rerun. Oh, all right. Yeah, we need the... Just like that. Easy done. All right, cool. Going up to the top, we need to put in organization into here. Easy done. We're just going to go over here. We're going to... yeah, we've got to hit refresh. Yep, it's looking like it's running. Going to go over here. We're going to hit that. And then... That's not what I wanted. That's definitely not what I wanted. Because I want more information than that. Yeah, no, I need more than that. So that's what we're thinking of doing. So we've got a nested sort of thing, so it does this. Writable nested serializers. Oh, this is what we want. So we've got tracks, track serializer, many equals true. Those to def create track data equals validate pop tracks. Album for track data and track data, track create. Oh. By default, nested serializers are read-only. If you want to support write operations to a nested serializer field, you'll need to create create and/or update methods in order to explicitly specify how the child relationship should be saved. Ah, neat. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I haven't used Prisma. I'm using the Django's inbuilt ORM, and I will say I'm a big fan of ORMs and have liked them ever since I started using Django a bit over 8 years ago now. Yeah, I started... It would have been about 9 years ago that I started learning web development and stuff like that. So, yeah. Okay, so what I want to do is we'll have a I want to get rid of this. we're going to play around with this particular one. So we've got the organization, and we'll need to do this with the other fields in there. So we want a def create. So I'm going to put that above the def get fields. For those wanting to know why, I find it hard finding words in big lists, so I put everything in alphabetical order. All right, so validated data. So I'm just going to, instead of swinging back and forth between this and the code, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go into here. I'm going to create something like that. I'm going to paste. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste it in. We're going to do that. And we're going to go organization. Oh, all right. Yeah, it looks like it's creating track data, but I actually want to. Okay. Oh, I hate when that happens. So there's the data. That's okay. Track objects create Elbin equals Elbin, and then the track data, which is not what we want to do. All right, I think I know what we want to do in here. Excuse the really creaky chair. I might need to upgrade my chair soon. I've had this thing for, oh God, how many decades now? Quite a number. Okay, so I'm going to breakpoint this. I'm going to have organization data equals validated data dot pop organization. Easy done. We're going to have, we're not creating an album object or anything like that. This is creating the is this in the serializer? Yeah, this is in the serializer. Okay. I'm just going to return, hang on, we want organization equals organization. No, this is with the project. So project equals project.objects.create, and that will be validated data. I'm just going to return project. I'm going to put a breakpoint here. I don't know what this is doing, so we'll debug it out. From what I can see here, we've got the track data. It pops out all the tracks out of there. So we're popping out the organization data. And then it's creating this, and then all we need to do is we probably just need to go project.organization ID, or organization equals organization data. Easy. Most likely. Don't know. I'm figuring this one out. We'll also probably have to do an update method for this particular thing too. I can also see us doing a bunch of other stuff. I am just closing a few of these tabs that we don't need open. I am going to go, yeah, project serializer we want open. I want the project API view also open. We're going to go scrolling up. Hey, Nocturnal, how are you? And I'm going to put a breakpoint there. So if I go into, we're doing the post first because it's going to be easier. So if I go select, we've hit this, so we've hit this breakpoint here. We go forward, is not valid because organization D string, this field is required, code is required. I know that, but we have got organization in there. You're okay? Yeah, that's good to hear. I'm okay, I can't complain. I'm just figuring this out. So we're implementing the changes being requested where stuff like organization will have be split down into an object when you read it. So let's go over here, let's hit refresh. Actually, let's just do it with one project. There we go. So organization will have all the organization details in here. And then project status will have all the project status. I've got to do the enums for the priority. I've got a ticket for that. It just requires me doing a little bit more research. And at the moment, what we're doing is, because we broke the post, we're figuring out how we can achieve this doing posts and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah. And don't forget to drop everyone, exclamation point drop, followed by your favorite emoji if you're on Twitch to drop onto the field. I am doing Grumpy Max because he knows he's not going to make it and Nightbot's cheating. So yeah, going in here, this is saying this isn't done because organization, it is there. But I just don't know. Let's go back into this. So in here we've got the tracks, many equals true. They've just, let's also do that. Let's just have many equals false. Let's get rid of the required. Let's get rid of that. And then let's do a send. Okay, so let's hit this. Still having issues. Cause, yeah, organization, error detail string, this field is required, code equals required. But if we have a look there, if we have a look at the data, and we open up this data, you can see organization is a 1. The next thing I could potentially do is do something like this. All right. I'm going to get rid of this. Actually, I'm going to keep it in for the moment. I think that will come in handy. I'm going to state up here with the organization. That's going to be the state. That's going to stay. I'm happy with that. I'm going to go down here. Let's deal with the post first. So we want fields.pop. I'm going to say organization. What's the Python pop again? Oh, that's just popping it out of the list. Yeah, I don't want pop. I think it's fields, organization equals serializers dot primary related key field, and then the query set equals organization. I think that's what I want. I'm not 100% sure. Definitely not sure. We'll find out in a second. So if I hit send, we hit this. We then hit a problem. All right. I'm gonna undo that one. We have a 500 issue. Type organization has no attribute get. All right, I've broken stuff clearly. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go on here. I'm just going to hit a little breakpoint there, and I'm just going to hit send. We're going to hit this. We're like, all right, cool. We're at this particular breakpoint. I'm just going to go forward. I'm going to hover over the fields. I'm going to open these up. So we've got a field, and we've got the organization. It's primary related field, query class. Is all that kind of stuff. All right, I'm just going to go forward, forward. All right, so for key in that, so project name, project description, organization. If I hover over this, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to open up fields. We've got organization. And we're going to have a look for the key. I'm just going to continue. Type object organization has no attribute yet. All right. I'm going to close that. I'm going to close that. I'm going to open up this. I am going to put a breakpoint here. And we're going to find out if we hit that breakpoint. So I hit the prior breakpoint. We're fine with that one. I'm just going to hit play. Yeah, we never get to that. All right, not a problem. So what I want to do, Django REST framework, change the serializer dependent on method. So change field and okay, cool. So there's the serializer, slug related, meta fields. Okay, when it's like that, self.fields and then the field itself, and then the serializer equals query set objects.all. All right, hang on. All right, simple mistake. I was on the right track, but I didn't finish off what I was doing. Easy done. I just needed to key in that, hey, we're actually filtering all of those objects. All right. And boom, there we are. So it's now past all of this validation. I'm just gonna hit play and hope for the best. And it shattered my dreams. Organization matching query does not exist. All right, cool. So, one thing I'm going to do is we've got the organization instance. I'm just going to go organization instance equals serializer data get organization. Like so, and hope for the best. I'm going to put a breakpoint there because we all know what hoping does for me. I break something. So here we are, we do this, we're just gonna go forward. We've got organization instance 1, so that's an integer field. All right, it didn't exactly give us what we need. So I'm just gonna hit play, that's gonna break. We all know that's gonna break. So project.organization must be of an organization instance. Oh, yeah, I know that. So what I could do, organization ID equals serializer.data.get. Oh, hang on. This is a very, very simple fix. Done. I am going to hit send. And we've got project 3 come back. And we're like, yay! All right, so moving forward, we're going to be doing pretty much same thing with everything else, where we need the priorities and all that kind of stuff. We're just going to overwrite that particular thing, being like, hey, in this method, instead of actually using that particular thing, we're going to be doing this. It should be easy to do, famous last words. So yeah, anyway, I am getting distracted with this cube very, very quickly. I am quickly solving it. Haven't got the corners. All right. Okay, so organization, all of that done. Project serializers. So we've done it for the new one. Let's actually have a look at this. Because yeah, we can simplify this a lot. We can simplify it a lot. That will still need to be done. Project submit will need to be, all right. That still needs to be done. But I feel like we can simplify quite a lot of this. So I'm going to try that. With the requirement API, requirement item API, as you see, we've just got the serializer saves and like that. So I'm just going to paste this in just for reference. And what we've got is we're going to go serializer.save. We'll have the change user equals request.user. We'll have the create. I'm going to have to look in the models, sorry. Where are my models? All right, project, easy done. So we've got creation user. And when we do the 032, one thing is we're going to focus on fixing up the database because it really does need to be fixed up. So yeah. Request.user. I think that's it. I'm going to put a breakpoint there. We're going to go over here. And we're just going to hit send. We've hit that breakpoint. We're going to go forward. Oh, so it hits this create. All right, we probably don't need this. Yeah, we don't need that create. Oh, this actually simplifies it all. Oh, I know what it's doing now. All right. So when we hit the serializer save, we won't need this. we'll need that in there. I'm just going to put that over there for the moment because we're going to implement that into the create in here. We won't need to pop anything out, but we do need to pop out the group list. So I'm just undoing everything because it's nice to actually have that in there. So we're going to go group list data equals validated data dot top. We're going to pop out the group list. I'm going to put none as default. We won't need that one. We'll need to do all of that. I don't think I have access to that. So I'm just going to do that for a moment. We won't need that. I'm just going to test this one out. So we've reached here. In theory. Maybe not. Alright. Request has no attribute user. Alright, cool. So, we won't need it because we're passing that through. Alright, cool. Sorry, once again, I'm just figuring this all out. Let's go for a ride on how to figure this all out. So I'm just going to close that. I'm going to open up this. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to have that like that for the moment. We're going to go back over here. We're going to hit refresh until we hit that. And then we're in here like this. So the group list data. Oh, we're in here. Oops. There we go. Sorry, in the wrong spot. We're in here. So we've popped this one out. Alright, so we've popped that one out. We've got validated data, which I'm just going to open up. We've got project name project. We've got change user, creation user, sweet. Now the one problem is with this group list data, at the moment we've just got one value in there. And that should be an array. So what I'm going to do, so I'm just going to hit play. Doesn't matter what we get. We're going to get a problem no matter what. For example, that the project status IDs. So not a problem. That's going to be a default value. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to send two values through for the group list. I do have two values going through, and we'll just hit add breaks. All right, can't believe that's gone so quickly. Welcome back. And holy hell, it is 8 o'clock. So yeah, this time has been flying tonight. Once we get this one done and we're happy with this one, the other one should follow suit very quickly. And then we're just gonna do it for the enums. And then once that's done, we'll do another release with this. We should fix up a bunch of API problems. We'll fix up the feedback, stuff like that. So yeah. And then what else did we want to do? I've also got to start the documentation process. So I'll be writing up a lot of documentation for the API through Swagger. So a lot of the code will be sort of documented and talking about particular fields and all that kind of stuff. I'll be doing all of that hopefully a little bit on the weekend. It's a long weekend, so Monday, I think I'm going to be starting really early on Monday, and we'll just crunch as much as possible. That's assuming if I prepare myself. Yeah, it'll be like 4 o'clock and I'm like, oh god, I've got nothing to talk about. So yeah. Alright, finishing this cube. There we go. Our ads are just about finished. And welcome back, everyone. Alright, so I'm going to do this, and there's a good reason why I'm going to do it. It's going to break on this particular line here because, hey, group list exists in there, but it doesn't exist in the solution. In the object. So we're going to hit this. I actually want us to see validated data, and I want to open it up. And we've got group list. And we only have one group list. I'm not liking that. Because if we have over here, we've got 2 group lists and an organization. Now, I'm going to go into the serializer very, very quickly. Group list, many equals false. Hang on a minute, many equals true. Yeah, I've done something silly here. And I don't know why I've done it. We're going to hit send again. We're going to jump over here. We're going to have a look at this validated data, and I'm going to open up this. So we've got group list now, which is a list, and we've got 2 items in there. Sweet. So when you create a project, you can actually be like, all right, sweet, I want to add it to all of these particular groups at once. NearBeach is designed to do that. So once again, it's designed for collaboration amongst different departments. So I am going to Okay, I'm going to keep that now. I know this is going to fail straight away. This is going to be like, guys, like, you've got a group list in there. Unexpected group list. We don't know what to do. We're going to do this, and then if it's none, we're going to actually do an empty object. If I hit send, we hit here again. So we've got the group list data. Which has got 2 in here. So the administration and the, all right, sweet. So I'm happy with that. We've got the validated data. We've passed through what we need. We should hit go across. All right, it's now going to complain about something else. All right, null project status ID. We need to key that in. All right, so not a problem. That should be over in here. So pop out The fields we don't need. All right, cool. So we don't need that one. Extract data we need. So what we need to do is we've got the project status. All right, so in here, we're essentially copying this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to add this into here. So there's the project statuses. We've got the project statuses. And then we just want to go first. Like that. And we're happy with it. So that will actually need to be placed in a particular way. So we want to go validated data, and then I think project status equals, and I think that might work. Famous last words might work. Now I'm going to comment out those lines. Like so. I'm just going to hit send. So if we hit this one, and project submit is not defined. Okay, cool. Let's search for project submit. So project submit, all right, cool. Yeah, and now we've got to do the group stuff. So this should all be good now. And I just want to see one thing. I'm going to put a breakpoint there. I'm going to see what that serializer sends me. And that's all. So we're in the serializer now. We're down here. So if I hover over the serializer, oops, sorry, wrong thing I was on. So I'm over here, serializer. It won't tell me. I don't know if I need a serializer equals serializer.save. So I'm just going to hit play, knowing that's going to fail. I don't know if I need that. We'll find out in a second. I'm just going to hit send again. There it go. So we're down here. Serializer. Oh, it's just created it. All right. Let's see what I did in the other day. Just going to jump this over here. So we send the serializer through and then serializer.data. All right, cool. So I'm going to do the same thing. We don't need this. We just need to do that. Easy done. All right. We're going to go over with the project serializer. So we've just created the project. We're all really, really happy with this. We're going to go create the project. And then what we need to do now is essentially loop through, create the group list. So that's going to be for single group in group list data. Now I'm going to say group list. We don't need to worry about that at all. So in here, we're just going to go group instance equals group.objects.get, and this is where the group ID equals single group, and that's assuming we haven't already made this into an instance. If we have, we're going to go through and do it properly. And then save the group against the new project. So this will be submit object assignment equals object assignment. Tell you what is going to be a lot easier to do is if I go 43 to 54, so let's just do that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. This will be part of the project, and the request user will be part of the validated data, and this will be called the, this will be just the change user, or creation user, change user. Keeping the variables the same on both sides. So we're on 85 at the moment. If I scroll all the way up and I go object assignment like that, realize it's not in alphabetical order. Do that. Go 86 now because we've added a new line. We're back down to here. That should save everything in there. We should then return the project. This is no longer needed over here, so I'm going to delete that. We do need to transfer the new uploads and stuff like that. That is a function. That can stay here. And we just need serializer.data.get project ID for this one. And we're passing through the UUID. Yeah, that's fine there. It can belong over here if we really, really wanted it to, because it is part of the create method. And then down here, we're going to go data equals serializer.data. We're no longer sending back just the ID. We're going to send back all of the ID possible. So if I do that like that, let's test it out. Let's do that. So I'm going to go send. We've hit an issue. Group ID expected a number, but group. All right. Kind of knew that was going to happen. Not a problem. Going up here, we just go to a single group. Done. It looks like we just don't need the instance. And done. So this project 8 in the system. So if we go into the front end, let's go localhost. Project information 8. We should have both groups in and a user. Ooh, did we assign a user? No, we didn't. We don't assign a user at this particular point. No. But we do have both groups coming through, which is good. Another thing is with this data, we could potentially look at extracting out a lot more information, like groups and users. No, because we've got a specific API point for that. We don't want, yeah. Sorry, I'm talking out loud. What I was thinking of is, should I have the groups and users? And I'm like, no. We've got a specific API endpoint for that. This is enough to sort of render the top section of the page. So, yeah. All right. I'm happy with this. I think this is looking a lot better. So we've got the create done to the post. We now need to sort of do similar things with the updates and so forth like that. So let's jump in. I'm going to bring the API back over here. We're going to close this. The decorator, we didn't need that one open. So yeah, I think having that there is fine. Yeah, it'll be fine there. But yeah, the create, we've actually simplified the create in the sense that we've put this over into here. That's fine. And Mattbird's quest, how are you going? All right, we've got 2 things going at once. Sweet. I'll go into the secret screen as we're raising the desk, just to prove that it has been risen. So yeah, it's getting risen all the way. I keep forgetting how tall this is risen. One day I'll measure it. And Socks is going to be very, very happy. All right, she hasn't gotten any treats tonight. She's wondering what's happening. And she's going to get some treats. And I actually have them in the room. All right, stay there, sweetie. All right, this is like the first time I don't have to tell you to get in the bed. She's learning. She is learning. How are you, Matt? Hopefully you're going well. How's streaming going? I sadly have not been working anyone for the last 2 weeks. I've been busy at work. I have not had the ability to have anyone on and concentrate. Alright, there it goes. Socks. Yeah, treats. Yeah. And now she's going to say thank you by sitting on my mouse and cleaning herself inappropriately in front of the camera. So, yeah. I should also give you a shout out. So, for any of those who want another chill stream, for anyone else who wants another chill stream, yeah, I highly recommend Mattbird's quests. So yeah, give him a follow. All right, getting back into this. So we've sent that data. We do get this back. We don't get the we actually don't get it in full. Okay. I'm just wondering if we could... Keats. Django REST framework post method to return get method. Creates a get. Yep. All right. It's not standard practice to have the post method to return the same data as the get method. However, if you need to return data, all right. Yep. All right. So it's enough for the end user to be like, all right, cool. Here's the data I've just created. And hopefully, yeah, I mean, I could always do a get, oh, thanks Socks. Socks are knocking off the camera. Yeah, So I'm just giving. I'm going to leave it like that for the moment, because yeah, this is the post. You're not meant to get much information back. It's like here's the data you just keyed in, and then you can always go, all right, cool. I want to get that data back, and just do that and get it back. So do it. And the Unholy Diver. How are you going? Socks woke up and chose violence today. Yes, she did. Look at that. She's no longer looking away, but if I do this, Socks, she's saying I did choose violence. So, yeah. And Steffi, how are you? Get me? Yes, yeah. She's back at her webcam knocking over state, where she just loves to, you know, destroy my webcams. How you been, Steffi? Hopefully you've been well. All right, so we've done that. I'm going to close a couple of things. We're going to keep that one open. We're going to close that. We're going to close that. The serializers. I've got to find it. I think it's serializer fields. No. Oh, wait. Yeah. Car cam? You mean cat cam? There we go. Looks like the cat is doing all the work. She is all the time. So yeah. And welcome, teacher Ed Urado M. Welcome. I'm terribly sorry. I'm bad at pronouncing names. I'm just terrible. I do apologize. All right. Responses no. What am I after? I know what I'm after. I'm after something like that. Django REST framework, and paste that in like that. Oops. Oh yes, guys, don't forget to drop exclamation point drop, and Steffi with the 65.53. Nice. You can do drop and then you can do an emoji afterwards. I'm doing empty amber. This is what I wanted. I think it was this one. Yeah, alright. And there was something else that I wanted to look up. So serializers create. I saw the winter theme on the drop game and I wanted to say time to switch to summer theme. Then I remembered, yes, yeah, it's winter here and it is cold. I was cold last night. I was cold the night before. We had a really sort of warm April. And then at the start of May, it was like, it's still a little warm. And I'm like, holy hell, why is it still warm? And then bang, 3 degrees Celsius. It is going to be, it's 11 at the moment. It's not going to be too bad tonight. 11's okay. 11's fine. Saturday is going to be 13. All right. Sunday is going to be, all right. Yeah, that's going to be cold. Monday, public holiday. Yeah. All right. So it's steadied out. It's still cold. Oh, there we go. It's 6 degrees. That's really cold. So, yeah. Now, I had something before that was doing something like that. I'm going to go and assume something. I'm going to assume that there is an update where we've got self and validated data. And we're just going to go A equals validated data. And we're just going to return. And I'm just going to put a breakpoint on here and I'm going to cause the whole thing to break purposely. And I'm going to cackle and laugh. So we've done the create. The destroy we're happy with. That's just going to destroy stuff. The list, that's working perfectly fine. That doesn't need to be done any better. That's perfectly fine. Doesn't need to be done any better. It's this update which I think we can do better. So I'm just going to go in here. I'm just going to go serializer.save, and I'm going to leave it like that. And I'm going to put a breakpoint on it. And I'm just wondering if I'm going to hit that breakpoint and that breakpoint. So we're going to go over into our puts. We're going to put something in number 2. We've got all the priority and all that kind of stuff. I'm just going to hit save. Project status. Yeah, we're going to need to do those first too. So going in here, we've got the get fields. We're going to go down here and go, all right, cool. The self context put. We are going to have the fields, and we're going to have a look at it. Project status equal the serializers dot primary key related field where the query set equals. Now this will be a list of project statuses dot. Oh, Socks has decided that she's got her treats, she's got her entertainment. I'm not going to let her knock everything off, and then I decide to put the camera there, and a bunch of pens fell off. All right, so project objects dot filter is deleted equals false. So I'm kind of happy with that. So we go back here. Priority doesn't change, not yet, until we implement the enum stuff. I'm going to hit that. We've hit this. I'm going to hit play. We've hit nothing else. Probably because I broke stuff. So we need to change user ID. All right, yep, that's easy. In fact, it should be just change user. I'm just having, change user equals request.user, and then that's it, I believe. All right, I'm just gonna hit save. But we don't need the creation user ID now. Oh, are we going into the create project? Oh, no. No, we don't want that. No. No, that's annoying. All right, we have reached an ad break. All right, for those on YouTube, don't worry. I run ads on Twitch every half an hour to stop the pre-rolled ads because they're really super annoying. Essentially, you don't get ads, don't worry about it. We just pause the stream and do this. So, yeah. Okay, let's go through this like this. Let's do this and let's do that. I'm just gonna all right. Very good. John. There are about 40 seconds left of the ads to go, so yeah. Damn it, this is not what I wanted to do. Oh, all right, we're gonna have to figure this one out. Oop. Have you played the Tetris effect? No, I haven't. What is the Tetris effect? I'm assuming you've just posted that, so you don't have ads, so yeah. Anyway, welcome back. So yeah, I don't know what the Tetris effect is. Need a bigger variant of Rubik's Cube, so you're busy longer. I could bring out the 4x4. The one I keep getting the headlights in. So yeah, that's possible. It's Tetris with more graphics and effects, cool maps and levels. Okay, yeah, I just haven't played it. I haven't played Tetris in a long time. Bloom, emissions, etc. Okay. Alright, so Django serializer class with custom hang on. It's here with the create. That's where I know this from, and all right, Django serial class with custom update. Override the update method. Model serializer. I'm just looking at this very quickly. Instance validated data. All right, cool, and. Alright, cool. So, hitting the created, not hitting this one. I am just going to paste that in. We've still got the breakpoint. I want to go back into here. I might want to choose something else. So I'm going to go serializer.update. And then I might put change user equals request.user in there. Unexpected argument. All right. We'll see if that works first. You've never played it before, but that mode is a lot of fun. Fair enough. I mean, Tetris in general. Fair enough. Yeah, I just haven't played Tetris in a while. All right. No one's on YouTube. All right. I am going to hit send. Is requiring true positional instance and validated data. Okay, cool. I'm going to there should be override update in here. No, that's not what I want. All right, writing create methods for nested representation of. All right, cool. If you're supporting, this is what I want. All right, so writing update methods for nested representations. For updates, you want to think carefully about how to handle updates to relationships. For example, if the data relationship is none or providing which should occur. All right, cool. So we've got the def update. They're popping out their little bits of data. We'll pop out what we need to and so forth like that. Not a problem, easy done. So going into here, instance, username, instance, all right, cool. And then we return the instance. Nested and creates and updates can be ambiguous. You may require complex dependency between. 3 requires you always write these methods explicitly. The default modelizer.create and update methods do not include support for writable nests. All right. However, third-party packages such as DFR writable nested that support automated writable nesting methods representations. All right. I don't know where that opened up. Package provides writable nested model serializations able to create. All right, cool. All right. I'm guessing it's something we could potentially do. I just need to handling save related. All right, cool. An alternative to saving multiple is to write custom model manager code that handles creating the correct instances. For example, so suppose we want the user create. All right, cool. So that's a class model manager def create yeah, not what I want, but that's fine. I just need to know what the instance and validated data is. So I'm assuming the instance is going to be the project instance itself. So I'm assuming we have to pass that through. Because we're passing through the validated data. That's this project status instance. So essentially we'll be doing something like this. So that will be cut out. We'll be doing that, and then we'll just go update project. And how did we call this elsewhere? Sorry, just give me a couple of seconds. I think that's it. Not sure, but hey, it's worth a shot. And then we go here, and then we return instance. That's fine. All right, I'm going to test that. Validated data. All right, how are they calling this? Because I kind of want to see how they're calling it. It's a different thing. Because I would have assumed it would be passing through validated data. Project serializer.update missing one required position argument validated data. All right. Let's go through Stack Overflow. So on here, yeah, we've got that, but then it doesn't tell us how to call it. Unless it's meant to be like that. And project serializer, we've made this into a model. Yep, model serializer. We've got all of that sort of data set and so forth. So it should be able to find what we need. Yeah. All right, I'm trying to update the various fields of a user model when the user wants to update it to create it earlier. All right, cool. Class generics models serializer. There's the update self instance. All right, cool. We just need the inst self.get object instance user ID. Save. Okay, I might not be on the right thing. But yeah, serializer, we just do that. My model, fields all, we're done all of that. Tell you what, Django REST framework, serializer, custom update. All right, cool. Update call. Let's have a quick look at this. Def custom, return instance. Yep, all right. How do we call it though? Not what I want. Okay. So at the moment, what we want to do is we want to get rid of this sort of code down here. Yeah. I mean, we've got the instance. I mean, what I could potentially do is I could just go update project, and then I could just go serializer.data, and we'll see what happens. So we're in here, and that looks like it worked. So the validated data, that's just all of that. I mean, that sort of works. And then we've got the instance in here. We can then sort of settle it in here. I mean, sure. There could also be a way where I could... Yeah, all right. I think that's what we've got to do. Now, there's a little trick. Not create, not destroy, not list, retrieve. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I'm going to paste this in. We're going to have it as project. Oh, no, we need that one as query set. We've got project results. We actually want update project. We can ignore that. Now, what will actually happen is this will 404. But that's already happening up here. Nah. Yeah, nah, we're already checking for that. That's fine. I'm just going to get rid of that. All right, so we've got this. We're passing through this. Like so we're just updating that. We'll double check that this has all been updated in the proper place. We need a project status, we'll check it out in the other page. And then we just send back the serialized data and we're all happy. So, and that should be part of that. So I'm just gonna do this. In here, we'll have the project status instance. We shouldn't need to do that anymore. What we should be able to do is just save this. So they've got instance equals super and all of that kind of stuff in here. So I'm just going to paste that. And then I should be able to comment that out. I don't know, we're just going to see what actually happens. But yeah, the update and then the super update. All right, and that should go up there, yeah. Project serializer update, missing 2 arguments, required instance and validated data. We got it. Did we get there? Yeah. Project status must be a list of project status instances. Okay. Cool. So yeah, we do need that instances. So can I assign 1 to the project? Yep. All right. Sweet. So it doesn't actually handle that. So we do need to handle that up here. So we need project status handling here. And what that is we just go instance dot project status. I'm just double checking. Yep, project status equals the list of project statuses.objects.get, and then it'll be project status ID equals serial. Oh, this will be part of the validated data, and then the project status. And we've already validated that data, so we know it's going to be an ID, and we just feed it into there like that, and then we just do that. Now, passing it through, that is going to be, that should update perfectly fine. If I hit send again, we're going to hit this. We're going to pop forward. Ooh. Project status, list of project status. It's all right. No, I know what's going to happen here. This is one of those sort of cases where we go project status ID equals validated data dot pop. And then we need to pop out the the project status. We're just going to put a 0 as a default. We should do it like that. And then if we go over here, we should see project status ID is a 1. All right, sweet. And now if we have a look at validated data, you'll notice that project status is no longer in there, which is what we want, because we popped it out. We're just going to hit play, and there is our saved data. It isn't in the structure we kind of want, which is annoying, but it should be saved. We now should have for project 2, I'm going to change the title, test from API. I'm just going to hit send. We've got this. I'm just going to hit play. We're going to jump over into here. We're going to go into a 2 and test from API. So yeah, all of these particular fields are updating now. The one little tiny thing that is a little bit nagging is the fact that we don't have the full instance, which is annoying for me, because I kind of want to send back everything in this particular case. So we are returning the instance. What we could potentially do so I could do that. Get rid of all of this. And then just go serializer. And then equals project serializer. Data equals update project. I don't think that will work. I think we just need to do it. Oh my god. Why? P. think we can do that. There is a reason why I want to actually do it like this, because if you change the status to something like that, you kind of want that same structure to be sent back to the user. So that's why I'm doing it with these particular lines. So if we now go send, we hit this. I forgot to take out the breakpoint. We hit a problem. Project iterable is not iterable. That is because I put many equals true. That is false. Alright, we just gotta wait. And there we go. And it's in the same shape as we had before. I'm also going to do this when we're dealing with the save. So yeah, I think that is a better solution. Yeah, I think that's a better solution. I'm going to take back what I said before with the create. With the create, and it gets here, transfer. Create a project equals that. Give me a couple of seconds. Sorry, someone's just texting me. All right. So we're happy with that. And then re-serialize the created project so it is in the same shape for the user. And then what we wanted to do is we just want to go serializer equals project serializer, and then we've got the create project mini equals false. And then we're just going to go and quickly do a post. Alright, wait. Alright. And yeah, that gets back everything we need. So it should be in the same shape, and I prefer it like that. Okay. So, we've got the post done. The delete should just work, so we should come into here and just go project 8 delete. Invalid token. Yeah, I know. I'm using the Mac shortcuts. Oops. All right, project deleted. All right, sweet. So I'm just going to save that. I'm going to save that. I'm going to save that, and we're going to close all tabs. All right, cool. So, project has been updated now. That we've got new shape. So the new shape will happen like this. I'm very happy with this. All right, so we're just going to move on to the other different objects and get them all sorted and stuff like that. However, I do need to go to the bathroom very, very quickly. I do apologize. I will be right back. I don't know how I could do the be right back screen because that little thing has disappeared, which is really annoying. Even if I double click that, all of that is just views. Controls, audio mixer, sources. Yeah, like everything's just. Anyway, I will be right back. Give me 30 seconds. right, sorry about that. I don't know why I left it on that screen. All right, getting back into it. So yes, I'm happy with project. And now we're just got to go down the list. So I'm just wondering if we start at organization, customer, Kanban board, then we do the cards, and so forth like that. All right, now. So we're currently doing that. We need to implement pagination. Okay. Now the thing is, why I'm actually looking at all these tickets is if I actually focus on implementing these changes for this one particular object, what I can do is when I do it for the other objects, I'll know how to do it perfectly fine. It actually speeds up the development process. Because I'll just know how to do it and I'll just spit it out for the other ones, and so they're all fixed all at the same time. All right. API unit tests is not needed, the Swagger isn't needed, and the implement the ability for admins to set up the API keys is not needed at the moment, so they're staying still. However, what we could do is we could remove the ID and names attributes instead of place with the object, which we're actually done for projects except for the priorities. But we have a separate ticket for the priorities. So we've done that one for the projects. Implement pagination. So this is something we should actually do. So if we actually open this up, all right, so we kind of want to do pagination like this. We kind of want to do it like how it's documented in here. We don't want to create our own thing. The reason being is if people know the Django system, they can be like, oh, cool, I'm going to experiment. Can I actually do this? And it'll work. All right, we've just reached another ad time. So yes, ad time again. I'm actually going to quickly grab some water, this ad break. I do apologize. For those on YouTube, we run ads every half an hour on Twitch, so people don't get pre-rolled ads. Don't worry, you don't get ads, and we tend to do this when we have ads. Anyway, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Only got 30 seconds of ads left. All right, let's see how much of this cube I can do. I'm gonna try and beat the time for the ads because we've got about 15 seconds left now. Oh, I might just do it easily. Yeah, I just did it easily. There we go. Okay. So, 1 second. All right, community is back. Welcome back, everyone. I was on workstation that whole entire time. I do apologize. Don't worry, you didn't miss out on anything if you were in ads. So, page numbering pagination. Hey, Socks. This pagination style accepts a single page number in any request. All right, cool. Yep. Okay, cool. So if I, out of curiosity, if I can close that one, I'm definitely closing that one. If I go up here and I remove this and I go page equals 1, cool. If I go page equals 2, There's nothing on it, which is fine. Yeah, I don't have anything at that. So setup, to enable page number pagination style globally, use the following configuration and set page size as desired. So, all right. Now, this is where we sort of discuss how we're going to do this properly. Now, in NearBeach, what we could actually do is, with the Docker variables and stuff like that, is we can easily pass things through from Docker into Django. That's not going to be a problem. We do that all the time. Just means I've got to set up a bunch of default variables at the start. That's not going to be a problem. Okay, cool. So, just means I've got to do this in the Docker stuff too. Once again, not a problem. But before I do this, sorry, I'm just having a think. Got to make sure it doesn't break the current Docker release. Oh, do you want to? There you go. Say hi to everyone, sweetie. Say hi. You're like, hi. Alright, there you go. Alright, so not a problem putting this in. This is not a problem. I'm just wondering if I put it in the Docker build stuff now, will it actually cause problems? Because we've had problems in the past where we've mucked around with Docker and we've created builds that just don't work. It might be one of those socks. Can I have my mouse back? Thank you. All right. All right, setup. So I need to put these two fields in our setup file. I'll also need to put them in the Docker file. So we'll do that both tonight, and then I'll push both tonight. However, I'll create a branch for the Docker stuff, unless I do a release. No, I'm not going to do a release tonight. In fact, I'm going to put this all on a branch. I just don't want to break the Docker build yet. So I'm just thinking, what's the best sort of option to have these pass through? So I'm just doing the pagination stuff, and I think branching everything out and then releasing at the same time is probably the best solution for this. So yeah. Oh yeah, changes to the settings PY for both the Docker build and the NearBeach local stuff. So yeah. So I'm gonna new window this. I'm gonna have it like this. This is perfectly fine. What I want to do, git pull. Oh, that screen hasn't updated. All right, cool. Git branch. Do I have git flow? All right. Ooh. right, git flow init, which should be cool. It'd do the Docker change first, yeah, and then there's unused configs in there, but they're fine if they're unused. Yeah, I'm thinking potentially that. I don't know if it might break stuff. That's the thing. I am making changes to the REST framework side of the code. So yeah, and Taku, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. I'm going well, thank you very much. Can't complain. And the Stedos, thank you very much for the follow. I do hope you are enjoying my content. You're just working now? Oh, fair enough. Like you're at work right now. Fair enough. So yeah, hopefully work's going nice. I'm assuming they're not used without changes. You're doing it in NearBeach. I think, Nocturnal, I think this will change something. It could break something. So that's what I'm erring on caution at the moment. So yeah. That's okay, Taku. So yeah, I'm hoping you are enjoying work. So we want to minimize everything. We're opening up this. We're going to open not up the example. We're opening up Ocean Suite. We're going to the settings. We're just going to go up and go REST in here. We want the REST framework, and then I'm just going to go like this. I think I know how we've done this before. Sorry, I've just can you make a change to Docker without pushing it? Perhaps it's something to allow. Add a label that says don't run that bit of automation. I was just going to branch it out. I think just branching it out, and then when everything's all ready, I will just... So, yeah, branching out will be fine. It won't make the image or anything like that. And then when I'm ready, which hopefully this doesn't take me too many days, because once I've done for one object, getting the other objects moving and stuff like that is going to be very, very fast. It should just all fall into place within the next week or two. And that's fine. So I'll merge the Docker first, build the image, the base image, and then I'll do a release for NearBeach, which will use the newer images. And that should be fine. And then I hopefully don't do something screwy and accidentally break stuff again. Which takes me about 45 minutes to find out. Alright, I am just going to minimize that particular one. I'm just trying to remember how we're doing this. Oh yeah, if it's like that, we do that. Yeah, we're just doing it like that. All right, cool. So what I want to do is up here, I want to go equals 100, and then if, hang on, my brain is just if in quotations in OS, and then get that. Right, I'm just copying that for reference, and thank you very much, Bursam32, for the follow. Welcome, welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content. You're laughing at the fact that I break things nocturnal? Yeah, I do it way too often nowadays. It is. I shouldn't be near systems. So, yeah. Alright, we're just going to paste all of this in here like this. And then that should be fine. And then we just got to paste that one in there like that with that comma there. And then, yeah, now don't forget to drop everyone exclamation drop followed by your favorite emoji. I am going to do Toby Tripod. My first three-legged cat, but my second cat in overall. We're going to go back into here. I think that's fine for the moment. I'm not going to commit that to the branch just yet because we might have quite a lot else to do. On generic API view subclasses, you may also get set the pagination class attribute to page number pagination on per view basis. We're not going to do that. We're going to do that consistently across all the board. All right, so the configuration, page number, pagination class also includes a number of attributes that may be overridden to modify the pagination style. All right, cool. We're not going to override anything. However, if we go in here and we go limit equals 1 and page equals 2, and if we do limit equals 1, it's still going to bring out 3. All right, cool. If you're breaking stuff, then either we need better testing or getting on a different place. I think the former, better testing. In fact, I do have that written. Ah, no, it's no longer on the whiteboard. I do actually have that written down. No, wrong one. This one. Definition of done. Maybe not. I thought I had it written down. Have I forgot to actually write it down in here? Yes. All right. Could have a smoke test after build and reject a build. Yeah. Yeah. It's just how I can either automate that process to be like, all right, cool, check this out. Does it build? Does it run? Do I have any problems if I spin up an instance of it? And if I do, all right, let's not use it. I do kind of want to automate that. I know it'll spin out all the automation by a long time, but that's perfectly fine. The other alternative is if I can't automate it, I will need to document it so I can run it on my local. And I think the only times we ever really need to sort of do it is if we're adding in new libraries into NearBeach, which NearBeach will use, or if we're modifying the Docker files or anything like that. So yeah. And yeah, the only times we've ever broken the Docker builds is because I've done something along those lines. All right, limit, offset, pagination. We're fine with this. The pagination style mirrors syntax when looking up multiple database records. The client includes both a limit and a offset page query. Oh, okay, offset. So they would be limit and offset equals 0. No, it doesn't work. Doesn't work. Okay, that's fine. Oh, I haven't actually put the pagination into. Alright, I done something silly. Alright. I did it on the Docker, I didn't do it on the local. Let's go into NearBeach, let's go into local, let's go into settings, let's go up to the top and go rest. Once again, we're going to put this down at the bottom. Like that. We are just going to leave it as 100 here because essentially a user could edit this manually themselves. Okay, let's go back into here. Let's go this. We might need to reboot. All right, going in here, rebooting. No, it doesn't do it. That's all right. That's fine. I'm not too worried about the limit. All right. What I want to test is if I bump that down to 1, I'm just going to rerun everything like so. Easy done. And I want to go back into here and I just want to hit refresh. All right. Page size is not wanting to work. Do I have? I think I've broken something. All right. Default pagination. We've just copied this. This is REST framework. Yes. Yeah, it's part of that object. Note you'll need to set both the pagination class and the pagination size that should be used. Both default pagination and pagination size are none by default. All right, so set the pagination. All right, you can also set the pagination class on individual views. We're not going to do that using the pagination class attribute. Typically, you want to use the same pagination style throughout your API. Yes, to be consistent. Although you may want to vary individual aspects of the pagination, such as default or maximum page sizes on per view basis. No, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Modifying the pagination style. If you want to modify the pagination aspects of the pagination style, you want to override one of the pagination classes and set the attributes to that you want to change. All right, modify. No, we don't need to do that. Yeah, we should only be getting. Hang on, hold on. Should only be getting 1 result in here. We're getting 3. Okay, why? Yeah, we're doing that. We're doing. All right, let's try this one. Yeah, we do have the page number pagination. And page size 1. All right, I'm just going to stop this. I'm going to reboot it. Okay. I may be going crazy. And then refresh. We're still getting quite a number in here, which is not what we want. If I do a list of the projects and I just select everything, we've got a list. If we hit preview, you can see we've got a multitude of values in here. We've got 3. And then if I go page equals 2, we've got none. Yeah, we've got none. All right. Yeah, we don't want a custom one. Okay, let's just go Django REST framework. Hang on, I think I know. I'm guessing. So if we will go to in the list itself. Oh, that's the serializer. Give me a couple of seconds. We want to go into NearBeach. We want to go into views. We want to go into API. We want to go into project API. We want to hit the list. So we've got our own page stuff in here, but then we do our own stuff down here with the project results and so forth like that. I'm starting to think that we might not need something in here. I'm just going to go like this, and I'm going to do that. I'm just going to see what happens. All right, I didn't know what to expect, but I was, I didn't know what to expect. Django REST framework, setup, pagination example. All right, pagination. Yeah, we've done this. Let's have a quick read of this article. So going through limits. All right, cool. So we've done that one. So we've set that. So we've set that. Default limit. I don't know if that's going to work. Let's have a look. No. I'm just going to get rid of that now. All right, this article doesn't have any code settings. Yep, so we've done all that. REST API, yep. URLs, yep, we've done all that. Database design, yep, we're fine. Admin, yep, we're default serializers. So serializers, yep, like that. Custom, paginations, eh? All right, so this is my pagination. All right, just give me code. Just give me raw code. I don't need any of this. All right, my limited default to. let's give me code. Just give me code. Completed code, please. We've got that done. We've got the ordering cursor. All right. Page size 2. Okay, we've got that. Monolist API view, pagination class equals, all right. Oh. So they've got the get. Let's need to get through that. Okay. Don't know if that will work because I'm still leaning on that at the moment. Oh, when does that ad break start? All right. So we've got the page size, we've got the page size. Sorry, excuse me, and all that kind of stuff. So we've already set this up. And now page size, if page size is less than 1,000 Elsa. There, all right, cool. And hello, Akper. I do apologize if I didn't pronounce your name correctly. I am terrible with new names. Welcome, welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content. And we've just hit an ad break. So the ad break happens on Twitch. Don't worry about it. We run ads every half an hour, so people people don't get pre-rolled ads on Twitch. That's all. Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm just terrible with new names. I have to hear them out, and yeah. Hopefully you're going well. We are building an open source project management system called NearBeach. Yeah, we're currently working on the API. So currently it's version 0. It's going to change quite a lot between now and hopefully when we actually wrap it up by September. So yeah, with the idea that when September happens and we start on the 0.31 build of NearBeach, it'll be solidified so that we can go from version 1 to version 0 to version 1. So yeah. And where are we with the ads? There are about 20 seconds left for the ads, a bit more. I saw 28 seconds. Yeah, a little bit more. Not too long. Hopefully I'll definitely get one side. I don't know if I can get 2 lines in that time. There we go, 2 lines. There are about 4 seconds left. Alright, welcome back everyone. And hello there, the Odor. Welcome back. I'm trying to break into tech as a web developer. I'm so lucky to come by your channel. Do you have any advice for me? I have no experience. Alright, we recommend Free Code Camp for learning. I don't know if Nightbot is working. Probably not. Give me a couple of seconds. I'll get the URL up and I'll send it to you. Oh, there we go, Free Code Camp. That's just a learning tool. That's free. You don't need to sign in if you don't want to sign in. You can just go to menu curriculum and then actually they've got all the courses here. So yeah, you can jump in. My other recommendation is to build something. Not something huge, something small that you can get done within a couple of hours. Just a small little project. Just to get it to a proof of concept sort of place. So
something which you can kind of show off as a proof of concept, quite literally. And then after you build a couple of those projects, like let's say half a dozen to a dozen, look back at the first couple of projects and see if you can build them differently. Usually what actually happens is you learn quite a lot as you're building each project, and then when you come back and look at the first one, you sort of go, well, I can build this a lot better. I know a lot more now. So yeah, those are my recommendations. As for languages, I always recommend people just go onto a job-seeking website and go, for example, you said web development, go into web development and you'll see, hey, these guys want React, these guys want PHP, Symfony, Laravel, sorry, WordPress and stuff like that, and you can look at what companies are using around you and be like, all right, I'm going to learn those particular languages. So yeah. And how are you, the Odor? I am having a bit of problem with Twitch chat at the moment. Some of the screens have frozen up. I'm just resetting them. So I do apologize if anyone has spoken and Twitch hasn't shown me. Alright, so it looks like they're doing a bunch of stuff at the moment. This is a get. We're using a view set. JavaScript's really easy to start with. All right, open up your web browser of choice. Go into the development tools. Usually they're in the menu. You scroll down, and on Firefox it's more, and then web development tools. I know you can't see that. I do apologize. Open up your web development tools. Another quick way to get there is right-hand click it and just go inspect on anything. That's perfectly fine. Up here is console. What you can do is you can go in here and you can start actually programming. So var a equals hello world, and then you can go, all right, cool. Like so. Or you can go a dot for each, b such as like that, and then console.log b. Oh, yeah. Damn. That doesn't work on a string. Not in this language. There we go. I forgot to do that. And there we go. Now you're programming. So yeah, it's very easy to jump into JavaScript. It runs a lot of things nowadays. So as learning a language, yeah, JavaScript is pretty good to learn. It also depends what you want to do. So if you wanted to do backend sort of stuff, you would also look at PHP, .NET, depending on how many Django and Flask developers, people who use it near where you are. You could potentially look into Python. So yeah, I would say yes. And the other thing is, when you learn one language, let's say you put in this much effort for the first language. All right, your second language, it's not going to be so much effort. Your third language, very little effort. Fourth, fifth, sixth, and so forth like that. And the reason being is there's a lot of transferable skills that go from here into these other languages. So you don't need to relearn how a for loop works, or a while loop, or a do while loop works, because you've already learnt that core concept somewhere else. You don't need to learn how functions work and stuff like that. All you need to know is, all right, cool, I'm now using this particular language. How do I write functions in this particular language, or methods? So, yeah. All right. I'm probably going to leave the pagination stuff for the moment because I am going to do a little bit more research. I'm going to watch a couple of YouTube videos to try and get this to work. Let's jump into prod.NearBeach, Kanban 2. So we need to still do that, and I need to learn the enum setup for priorities and stuff like that. And that's just so that when someone views it, it comes out with the proper name and the ID. Yeah, that's all. So, yeah. That's okay. Yeah, so I enjoy programming. Don't get over. Yeah, there's a lot to learn, but don't worry about a lot of the stuff. A lot of the times you'll see me forget something and I just Google it. So yeah, any laptop really. You don't need the most powerfulest laptop out there if you're doing web development. You can easily run, for example, you can run WordPress locally on most laptops. You can easily set up a local environment. Let's say you've got yourself a Django environment, you can spin that up on a very, very cheap laptop. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about what laptop you're running. If you want to know what I've got an old MacBook Pro that I've had for 4 and a bit years now. Actually, it would have just been, would have passed 4 years in May. And I'm probably going to have that for a couple more years. Yeah. I know people, you can, if you got a cheap laptop, put Linux on it, you can be like, yep, done, perfect. That will work also. Yeah, I've had cheap laptops before. Yeah. All right. What was I thinking of? I forgot what I was thinking of. Swagger stuff. All right, cool. I do need to. Hang on, where's my Kanban board? I'm gonna put in here. Document each API module with Swagger. All right, and I kind of want to attack this at the same time. So I'm going to put this up here. So these are the 4 sort of tasks I'm attacking at the same time. I'm going to put this, let's put this as this, and then go add tag, and yeah. That's okay, yeah. But yeah, I enjoy programming. Another little tip is you might come across a really big problem. And the idea with these big problems is you chip at them. You just chip away at them. So for example, I've got a project management system that I'm building at the moment. I didn't build that all in one sitting. I'm chipping away at it. And we're constantly improving it too. So yeah. Yes, I am. So I am considered a full stack. So I do quite a lot of system administration. I do backend. I'll do front end. I can't design, but I'm happy to do CSS and so forth like that. So if you give me a design, I will most likely be able to do a lot of the CSS and get that out. So yeah. All right. So I've got that down there. Swagger. So, we've only got 10 minutes left of the stream. Have to use vanilla unless you call jQuery?
sorry, Moondog Dev. Is that a question? Like, are you asking if I've used jQuery before? I have used jQuery before. I actually really liked it at the time. The reason why I don't use it at the moment is because I'm using VueJS as my framework. But yeah, you can use VueJS. You can use jQuery on your site very easily. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with jQuery. All right, where was I? Oh, yes, Swagger. So Swagger is essentially a tool to help compile the documentation for our API. I don't know if I wrote a note to myself about how to run it. Probably not. No, I didn't. I hate when I do that to myself. Let's have a look. NearBeach, read the docs. I want to jump into the development branch. So the documentation branch. No, it's not in there. All right. I've got to fill out this documentation like there's no tomorrow. So, yeah. Compiling Swagger. Okay, so we've got all of that done. So we can get that done. Docker pull Swagger, Docker run Swagger, just do. Ooh. And thank you very much, Fleet Fox, for the follow. Welcome, welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content. As I try and remember what I did with my Swagger stuff. I know I did it on my laptop because I was getting driven around and, oh, yeah. I'm just going to hit refresh on these windows. And I know, create this document, there's our index. If I open that up in Firefox, that won't be our Swagger stuff. That will be our schema.json. All right. Open this up. There we go. So yeah, the documentation is meant to look like this. As I was starting out, would you be open to... I sadly don't have much time to mentor and stuff like that, but I'm happy to give tips and so forth like that. So yeah, it's just my time at the moment between this and full-time work. I just don't have time. I'm sorry. We do have a Discord where we do actually have chats where you can definitely ask for help. So yeah, and we've got a couple of people out there who are willing to give tips and helpful tricks and so forth like that. So yeah. All right, so we've got this. Now this was generated a couple of weeks ago. We're gonna have to actually fix all of this up. So we've got the groups and users. I've done something to do something with the projects. Yeah, there's no project information here, so I've got to put in the project stuff. So having a look at this, if I minimize that, open up NearBeach, I open up the views, I open up the API, I open up now it's object data that I put in stuff. So I'm going to open up
that, and it'll be groups and users. Yeah, so feel free to join the Discord. Yeah, there's a couple of us that are willing to sort of give you tips and tricks, so forth like that. So yeah. But yeah, my main recommendation at the moment when learning the language is build something small, something which you can complete in an hour. It doesn't have to be special. The idea being is you build something else with something you've just learned. You build something else where you've learned something, you build something else with it, and so forth like that. And then you look back and you're like, all right, cool. I've built something a lot better now. I can build this even better. And yeah, you end up just improving. All right, so groups and users. So extended schema tags. That's how we do that. All right, cool. So there's a bunch of descriptions and stuff like that we write in here to get it to work. And this has been a bit over a month since I've touched this, but I do want to set these up correctly. And yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to rack my brain of how I want to get this all done. There's a lot going on at the moment. And I've given myself to September to sort of wrap everything up, and hopefully I get there before then. Yeah, all right. So with the project API, what we would do, I'm just going to put this over here for the reference. We would definitely need to extend the schema. We need the extend schema and all that kind of stuff in here. So that would be from, hang on, import datetime. We no longer need datetime in here. DRF spectacular dot utils import extend schema. Now we've got the open API example. And we've got the open API parameter, but we're not using it at the moment, but that's perfectly fine. So I want to go down to the extend schema, and this will be tags equals. Now, the idea here is we've got object data, we've got available data. I'm pretty happy with these being like this. So I'm just going to write projects in here like that. Easy done. And we don't need to any of those internal functions we don't need to do. And then down here, what we wanted to do is we add in an extend scheme. And we go description equals. And this is the fun thing where we just go so we've got a description. This endpoint allows you to add either, allows you to add a project within NearBeach. All right, cool. And so forth like that. And I'll need to go through the parameters and how they're shaped and everything like that. Now it's reached 10 o'clock here at tonight. I am wrapping up just because I need to go to bed because I'm waking up early tomorrow. Hopefully I get a really good gym session in the morning. We are going to go git branch to double check we're on the right branch. We are not. That's a good thing I did that. So git flow feature. We're going to go API improvements. I spelled that wrong. Feature, start API improvements. Good thing it failed because I spelled something wrong. So we're doing that, and then git flow, git status, git add. So I'm happy with adding all of that in at the moment. And thank you very much, KFX. I definitely didn't say that right, but thank you very much for the follow. Welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content. We should be getting near, I don't know how many followers now. Oh, wrong one. Pretty sure we're near 1,000. Where does it show my followers? 11 off. 11 off. All right, not a problem. We'll get there one day. We're going to add everything because we're happy with all of that being added in. We're going to git commit, and we're going to go initial improvements to the project API. And we're going to push. Oops. A feature API improvements. All right, cool. So yes, thank you very much everyone for coming tonight. It has been wonderful. Yeah, it's just 10 o'clock. I need to go to bed. I will be continuing this on the weekend. Once again, I need to do a little bit more research for those other little points. Hopefully I can find out how to do that. And then absolutely just go through, yeah, just get the project's improvements done. Once the project improvement has been done, it is quite literally every other every other API point is going to be improved as well. Yeah, it shouldn't take too long. Famous last words, actually. Famous last words. It'll probably take me a couple of weeks to get everything done, but I'm hoping not. So yeah, let's find someone to raid. Ooh, Adrian Learns. All right, we are going to raid Adrian Learns. What are they up to tonight? Oh, Nocturnal, I just saw your thing. You know how you have a closed status on entry in a column? What if you had the option to create a ticket on another board? So if you're creating a hang on, let me let's go Kanban board and then one, and then Kanban card. If you're actually doing a post onto here, it will create it on this particular board here. You can actually change that number and you'll be able to create it on another board. Or what are you saying is you want the ability to create one card on multiple boards? Okay, like a migration of cards? I better snooze the, I'm just gonna snooze the ads. Do you like when someone puts something in done in one, put another ticket in to do in another? I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Give me 10 minutes. I'll chat to you on Discord. Yeah, I'll chat to you on Discord. I think potentially plausible. Yeah, I think it's a potentially plausible idea. But yeah, I'll have to throw back an idea to see if that idea makes any sense. Anyway, we should raid Adrian, because it is getting late for me. And yeah, all right. Anyway, thank you very much, everyone, for coming tonight. It has been wonderful. We got a lot done. We are, slowly improving the API, and I am hoping that by the end of this month, it is all looking really shiny and stuff like that, which will be really nice, and will be ahead of our schedule. So yeah. Anyway, thank you very much. Let's go raid on. And for those on YouTube, sadly you won't be able to join us with the raid. However, thank you very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It actually does help the channel. So yeah, thank you very much for being here. So yeah.